You ever get yelled at for washing your own truck? On your own driveway? Yeah, that happened. I moved into this neighborhood thinking it'd be a quiet spot to wind down after long workdays. I'm a contractor, long hours, messy sights, and my Silverado's my pride. So naturally, I keep it parked right outside my front door where I can hop in and go. Seemed normal enough until she showed up. This lady, Beverly. Whole neighborhood calls her Karen, but her real name's Beverly Lancaster. HOA board member, self-appointed sheriff of the suburbs, always stomping around in this black windbreaker that says HOA enforcement officer, like she's deputized or something. First time I saw her, she was standing at the edge of her lawn, arms crossed, glaring like I'd kicked a puppy. I should have known right then that peace wasn't gonna last. Anyway, one Sunday morning, I'm out there giving my truck a good clean. Nothing fancy, just some biodegradable soap and a hose music playing low coffee on the porch steps. Life was good. And then I see her, marching across the street like she's leading an army, eyes locked on me like I'm public enemy number one. "You can't do that!" she yells, stepping over the tiniest stream of suds like it's radioactive waste. I blinked confused. "And do what? Wash your truck on HOA property," she snaps. "Runoff damages the drains, attracts pests, lowers property values. It's all in the rule book." I look around. It's my driveway, my truck, my water. I ask her where in the handbook that's written. She just scoffs and waves her phone in my face like it's a badge. "I'm on the board. I could fine you right now." I tell her as calmly as I can that I'll happily grab my copy of the rules. But she starts snapping pictures instead, talking about a $500 citation and how she'll report me to her contacts at City Hall. I just keep scrubbing. That's when she pulls out her phone and calls 911. I kid you not, 911. I figured she was bluffing. No way someone calls the cops over soap. But nope. 10 minutes later, cruiser rolls up. 2 officers step out, looking around like they expect to find a body. All they find is me standing there holding a sponge, and Beverly flailing her arms like she's starring in a bad courtroom drama. She tells them I'm creating a chemical hazard, that children are at risk, and throws around phrases like toxic runoff and civic duty. Meanwhile, the cops are just kind of standing there. One finally looks at me and goes, "You using bleach or something?" "Just dish soap, officer, and it's biodegradable." They nod. Look back at her and say, "Ma'am, this isn't an emergency. Please don't use 911 unless someone's in actual danger." She tries to keep going, but they cut her off. They warn her about misusing emergency services, then head back to their cruiser. And me, I turn back to my truck, crank the hose, and finish the job, while she storms off like the villain in a soap opera. You'd think that'd be the end of it, right? Wrong. Next morning, there's a letter stuck to my door. It's got all the markings of a fine, bold, print legalish language, and says I owe the HOA $2,000, or I'll face eviction. Only problem, it's clearly fake. No date, no board member signatures, just HOA enforcement officer stamped at the bottom like it's official. So I start digging. Turns out, I'm not the only one. In the community Facebook group, there are posts from folks who got the same fake fines. Some even paid them out of fear. That's when I realized this wasn't about rules. It was a hustle, a scam. And Beverly, she wasn't just power-tripping. She and her husband, Craig, were using the HOA to bully people into selling their homes cheap. Craig, by the way, is a developer. Sleazy type. Rumor was, he'd been making offers on homes that mysteriously got cited by the HOA. And Beverly, she'd never even been properly elected. She just showed up one day in that jacket and started barking orders. I wasn't about to let that slide. Next HOA meeting. I walk in with a stack of papers. Screenshots, emails, bylaws, city codes, the works. Room small, maybe 20 people. Beverly sitting up front, arms folded, smirking like she owns the place. When my turn comes, I stand up and lay it all out. The fake fines, the 911 call, her phony title, Craig's shady purchases, everything. She tries to interrupt. Says I'm slandering her. But I keep going calm, steady, loud enough for everyone to hear. I even hand out copies of the evidence to the other board members. One of them, this older guy named Harold, flips through it, then looks at Beverly and says, "Is any of this true?" She stammers. Says I'm making it all up. Claims she's only whoever tried to protect the community. But nobody's buying it. Not anymore. Harold leans forward and says, "We're suspending you from the board, pending investigation." Meeting adjourned. I don't stick around. I just walk out, knowing she won't talk her way out of this one. A week later, I get a handwritten letter from Harold thanking me for exposing the scam. Says Beverly's been removed permanently, and that every resident will get a notice explaining the truth. That night, I sit out back with a cold beer and watch the sunset reflect off my freshly washed Silverado. And for the first time in weeks, it's quiet, peaceful. No drama, no HOA cops, just the sound of the wind and a hose coiled neatly by the garage. But it gets you thinking. How many of these fake enforcers are out there using fear and nonsense to get what they want? How many neighborhoods are run by people no one even voted for? So tell me, if someone like Beverly tried pulling this on you, would you fight back? Or keep your head down and hope it passes? Let me know in the comments. Where's the line between community standards and flat-out abuse? And how do you deal with folks who crave power more than they care about what's right? Because this wasn't just about soap and water. This was about standing your ground in your own damn driveway.